Wow, welcome back to the channel, guys. We have gotten so much land information dropped today, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to look at the Illuvium Medium article based around land, all the full details and everything, and I'm going to break down what I would consider the most important points to consider when reading this Medium article. Now, I'm going to try and keep it as simple as I can, but some of these points are going to get a bit more detailed, so please keep that in consideration. But it's going to be good. I think you guys will get a lot out of it. Please leave a comment down below if any of these things really shocked you, didn't expect it, or anything like that. I'd really love to see it. Get some good chat up in the comment section. I really do appreciate it. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please always do your own research. So let's jump straight into it. Here's the article in question. Of course, this is going to be in the description down below. Hopefully I'll make a pinned comment as well. I'll give that a shot. Sometimes I forget my pinned comments, to be honest, so I apologize about that. Please subscribe if you want to see more of this sort of stuff. I don't want to shill it straight away, but I am going to say there's so much stuff happening in my head. The best tier, land you want to get, region analysis, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to be absolutely smashing it out over this week. I just got COVID. Hopefully I don't start really feeling those effects, but yes, I'm going to be smashing all that out, so definitely subscribe. You don't want to miss them, I assure you, especially if you're looking to buy land. Okay, so here's the article here. Firstly, Illuvium 0. There's a couple of really minor points here. The alpha version of the game is probably going to happen 3 to 4 weeks after the land sale. There's no definitive date on that. You won't actually be able to sell the fuel from that, though. Okay, you cannot, well, you'll be able to play the game and so on and so forth, but the fuel won't be worth any money, any ETH or anything until the main game launches. And when the main game launches, your land will be reset. However, there is one major thing that you can have. There will be a special limited set of blueprint NFTs that will not be available after the alpha when the main game launches and will be available during it. And you will keep them when everything resets. So that's a bit of a thank you from the Illuvium Land team. We don't know the full details on that. That's pretty much confirmed. We don't know how many different kinds of blueprints there are going to be or anything like that, but that's really exciting. So I'm very hyped for that. You'll also probably be able to get disproportionately more of them with the higher tier lands, considering the lower tiers will need to take longer to upgrade, and you will have your only limited window. So definitely worth considering that. So the next thing we should quickly chat about is land renting. I think that's usually down here somewhere. I don't know. I'm just going to be scrolling down it a bit arbitrarily. You guys definitely make sure to read this yourself if you have the chance. So land renting is currently under development. It won't be out on the launch. Not sure. Oh, it might be out on the launch. It could. No one has told us yet. I would expect it to take a little bit longer, but it could very well be out on launch. And you can play the game for free. The big shadow drop here is that the free land is no longer going to be an imitation of a T4. It's going to be an imitation of T2. So it'll be like you owned a T2 plot, except you can't sell your fuel for ERC20 tokens or Ethereum or whatever else, okay? So you're going to be playing a T2 for free, which is fun, all well and good and fun. It'll be really interesting because you'll have different layouts and things as well. It'll definitely be a fun game to play. I personally think I'm going to really enjoy it, but I know everyone is different. But there is that option there, so don't FOMO in if you don't have the funds. Wait for land sale 2 or 3. You can play the free version, okay? So the big things when considering your site are that you don't know the plot orientation for the site. All right, so you know pretty much how many fuel and element sites are going to be on it. You know what region you're buying in. It's in just a simple grid. You can look at all the regions. The Illuvium Land stream they had recently showed the Illuvidex off a bit. You basically pick the region, you'll get like a really square looking grid. Pretty simple stuff. But you won't know where the fuel sites and stuff are on the land. This will have a decent impact. The impact will be much larger on a T3 or T4. Say you have a lot of Krypton fuel sites on a T4 and your T4 landmark is also Krypton. That's going to be how you maximize that fuel output, but you won't know that until you purchase land. So yeah, and as I said, everything will be erased before the open beta. The UI is built for multiple lands. Now this is really good. I knew that they had it in mind and they were working towards it, but I didn't know that it was that far developed. So that they've convinced us in this article that the UI will be built for multiple lands. You'll be able to swipe, probably not just swipe between them, but it'll be really easy to switch between your different plots. which I think is going to be really useful. I definitely plan on owning more than one plot of land, and I'm not sure if I'll be renting it. I might be, but if there are a couple of T1s and not too many, I'll probably play them myself. So this is fantastic, fantastic news. Megacities. Now, we got a little bit of details on megacities. They will not be on launch, okay? They've pretty much assured us of that there, but there are lots of different plans. A few of the really key takeaways are that you can move resources freely between your adjacent plots. The landmarks may be able to affect the entire city and stack. So if you have two Krypton landmarks, they will both stack together. You won't just get the benefits of one, which would be really interesting. And structures can be shared, which is also really, really interesting. I think the example they used was something like an engineering bay. You wouldn't need an engineering bay in every single plot. You would only need one in one of your plots, which is really interesting because it said you could save up to like 90 grid spaces through using that sort of mechanism, which is really, really interesting. So if you're a whale and you plan on getting a lot of plots, I think a mega city will have a lot of value down the road. So definitely worth considering. Okay. So let's get to some of the graphs. Hopefully they're here. I don't see any graphs. That's okay. So you've got a bunch of tiers here. I love these little graphics. They're really, really nice. So there's going to be 282 new plots every hour. I don't know if it'll be exact. It should be exact. Each batch will have really similar ratios. So I don't know what the ratios actually are. But if you have, say, 150 tier 1s in the first batch, the second batch will probably have the same, and so on and so forth. They'll be really close. They won't be exact, but they'll be really, really close. Another big thing is gas optimization. So we know they're already trying to reduce gas wars with the Dutch auction, but they've also confirmed in here that they've reduced the ability for two parties to bid on a plot of land at one time. The simplest way I can speculate on this is that you'll click the buy button, and if you click that and no one else has clicked it yet, you might have like a 1 minute window where only you can purchase that plot. What that will do to the descending prices, I don't know. Maybe it will catch up if it fails or whatever else. That'd be really interesting. But that should eliminate a lot of the gas war. Now, does this mean you shouldn't have a lot of ETH in your wallet? No. This will be a big event. There will be lots of purchasing in general, which means that gas prices will be elevated anyways. Okay, so definitely try and have gas in your wallet. If I had to speculate on an amount, I would say try and have minimum 200 USD worth of Ethereum in your wallet. If you can't quite reach that, I'd say try to have 100 if you can, but you might need it even higher. But this is my speculation. I think 200 is probably going to be enough. If their system fails, then nothing's going to save you 200, 500,000. It's going to be ridiculous. So if the system works, you should really only need 100, 200. The system fails, have a whole Ethereum ready. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so the last thing we need to... Wow, I got through this list really, really quickly. The last thing we need to really quickly discuss is fuel. Okay, so you know what? I might actually use this opportunity to discuss the land a bit. All right, so we've got this here. I can't zoom into that one. Let's zoom in the other way. There we go. So you've got the land tier, element sites, and fuel sites. Now, I should definitely mention to you guys that the fuels... I'll move this across. The fuel is the only thing you sell on the Illuvidex. Oh, not on the Illuvidex, on the marketplace or whatever, on the balancer pool. Elements are used to help you produce fuel and things like that, so they're still very useful and very useful for upgrading buildings. But the fuel itself is the only thing you sell, which means that this proportions here are quite a bit different to some of the other stuff you might see. For example, a tier 2 has 3 times as many fuel sites as a tier 1 and a 33% production boost. You're looking at a 4 or 5x in the amount of fuel you produce, and it's only a 3x in price. So that's worth considering. I'm going to make a more detailed video on which tier I think might be the best. I'm going to redo some of my calcs and do some new revenue calculations and things like that as well. So definitely stay tuned for that. But that is a really interesting thing. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So that's a really interesting feature to consider. That being said, all lands passively produce every fuel type. So you being limited on fuel types with a tier 1 hopefully won't make a huge difference, but you will need to do a lot more converting and things like that on a tier 1 as opposed to a tier 2 or a tier 3, in theory. That being said, you could get all the same fuel site on a tier 2, since there's only 3, there's a decent chance of that as well. So definitely a lot of things to consider. The element landmarks, actually that's the other thing I should mention. The landmarks only boost your production by 10% on those particular things, okay? That is what they have. They have it down the bottom here somewhere. Let's find it. There you go. This one here. I'll zoom in again. This one here. Affected by the landmark. It's only 10% on no matter what this system is. There is efficiency systems and stuff. I want to make a more detailed video on that sort of stuff. So definitely stay tuned for that. I don't want to go too into detail here. This is going to be top level stuff on the Medium article and things that are really important that you may have missed for the initial buying of land. I can go into that in more detail. If you guys really want to see that, leave a comment down below and I'll make that my top priority. So that being said, the last thing I need to talk about is that fuel is only an ERC20 token when you sell it to the balancer, okay? When you sell it to the marketplace in game, all right? So that means that you cannot just send it to your main Illuvium wallet that you're playing the game with directly. And you cannot send it between lands, but that is a feature they're discussing. I don't know if it will be implemented when the open beta launches. It could be, but it might be something that we'll have to wait for down the road as they decide if that's the right decision. Personally, I don't think it's a good decision. I know many people want it, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope you have a good day, guys. This is a really good video to make. I hope you guys got something out of it. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and don't forget to watch this next video down there in the bottom left hand. Wait.
It's doing that thing again.
Wait. It's happened again? Oh, crap. Ah, it happened again!